What is an installment land sale contract? Normally, a house is purchased with a loan from a bank, a mortgage. With an installment land sale contract, the bank is not involved. The buyer pays the seller directly over time in installments. The buyer moves into the property after signing the land sale contract and can stay there as long as he lives up to the contract and makes all payments to the seller. Ownership, called title, does not transfer until all of the payments have been made. Pros and cons. Installment land sale contracts have some advantages, but also big risks. First, the buyer doesn't have to go through the normal mortgage process. This can make the sale happen faster and can help buyers who can't get financing from a bank and reduce the need for a down payment. They can help sellers sell their land that can't be financed traditionally, and protect the seller if a buyer doesn't pay. This is because the seller still owns it. They won't have to go through foreclosure proceedings to get their house back if the buyer doesn't pay. However, there are also big risks for the buyer. First, the seller himself may still owe money on the property. This could be the mortgage, back property taxes, or any other debts. If the seller defaults on those debts, the creditor might get the house, and the buyer won't. In these contracts, if the buyer misses payments, they usually don't have many rights. The seller can terminate the contract and keep the home, and also keep any payments made up to that point. What steps should buyers take to protect themselves before signing an installment land sale contract? 1. Talk to a lawyer. Buying a house is a big deal. Talk to an attorney. A lawyer will be able to draft or review a contract to help do a title search and ensure there are no major issues with the property, like multiple owners, debts or liens, or delinquent property taxes. 2. Determine the condition of property. Before signing the installment land sale contract, the buyer should inspect the property, ideally by engaging a professional or certified home inspector. The buyer should make sure the contract is specific about who is responsible for additional repairs after they move in. 3. Make sure the contract is written down and reviewed with a lawyer. Read and understand every bit of the land sales contract before signing it, ideally with help from a lawyer. Here are some key terms that must be in the contract. The sale price, the amount of the down payment, if any, the payment schedule and method of payment, including the interest rate, if there is any, who is responsible for taxes and repairs, both large and small, insurance requirements, who will insure the property, what kind of alterations the buyer is allowed to make. 4. Make sure the contract is in writing, signed by every buyer and every owner of the property, and notarized and recorded with the county clerk. That last step is very important. The contract has to be recorded with the county clerk, or there is no record that it's being purchased. The buyer won't own the property until the last payment is made, at which point the seller gives them a deed. For more information, please get in touch with Legal Aid of West Virginia.